Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, currently featuring Steven Universe, Gravity Falls, Star Wars Rebels, Moonbeam City, Ruby, Adventure Time, and Miraculous Ladybug. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Delaney Stovall.
Hi, y'all.
Today, Delaney and I will be discussing the latest and last episode of Moonbeam City, The Wedding of Rad, (Lie). I don't know if that's
such an awkward way to say that.
I don't know if that's how you pronounce the title, but you have
technically, if something's in parentheses, you're not supposed to say it.
The Wedding of, no, I don't think that's true.
That's, yes.
Like, according to what standard?
There's just, I don't know why I know that. That's a thing that I heard. I don't know. I could have been like 6 and I heard that.
The Wedding of Rad. There we go. I think the Wedding of Rad. I think that's how it's pronounced. Anyway, we've been covering Moonbeam City every week here at the Overly Animated Podcast, and this is the season finale and very, very likely the series finale. The reason for that is because these last two episodes aired at 1 a.m. on Comedy Central.
Yes.
I mean, technically it's still like being promoted on the website, like the page is still up and they put the episode online, you know, but I can't see it getting renewed after they pushed it to 1 a.m., which is really unfortunate because this episode is like the best episode of the show. So we're going to talk about that.
Granted, we've watched other shows before get knocked around and...
Yeah, I mean, technically maybe the show gets saved by like Netflix or Adult Swim, but It seems unlikely. I don't know. It seems really expensive to make. Like...
The animation's like ridiculous.
The animation's really like they have an outside company. They have all these big name voice actors. I assume that no one else could finance it but Comedy Central. So that is very unfortunate. We'll talk about that more at the end. As always, our Moonbeam City podcast may not be suitable for younger audiences, although our other podcasts are that are not Moonbeam City ones. You can overlyanimated.com. But yeah, I want to talk about the Wedding of Rad. Delaney, what did you think?
Well, one, I kind of spoiled myself because I got on...
Oh my god. How did you spoil yourself for this show?
Because I got on Comedy Central's website and the first clip was, oh my god, Rad married his sister. I was like, thanks.
Well, we kind of knew that was happening anyway. That's kind of in the premise of the episodes. That's not that much of a spoiler.
But still, I was like, darn. But, cause I guess I had forgotten.
Yeah.
And... at first I was like, I don't really know what's going on with this episode. I don't really know how I feel about it. Granted, the mob boss thing is like hilarious. But, I don't know, I ended up really liking the episode at the end. Like, I don't know, like, I guess we'll talk more about how like Rad has been like the driving force of the show.
Yeah, Rad is the main character. That is confirmed by him being the main character of the last episode. Yeah.
Weird. And I don't know, I do like how this episode ended up, and it was really interesting. It had a lot of interesting character interactions, and so this episode has some of like the best animation thus far.
How did you not mention that this is like the best pizzazz episode?
True facts.
So I mean, right. she had her own episode, but outside of that, this was like
she whipped off her belt and I died. Like I was like, oh man,
dude, that was
and she called it snake belt. So good.
Chekhov's snake belt, like it happened. I don't know.
So great.
I don't think
so
I don't think we called that, but it was, yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think this is the best episode of the show. It's not the funniest episode, but like as a television episode, this was like by far the most coherent, like well put together, well written episode.
There was actually a point to it.
Like everything worked, and it wasn't just a series of escalating absurdities. It was like a series of escalating absurdities within a coherent plot. So like props to them for finally getting it down. Scott Gardner,
Amazing.
Gardner. I think so. He's the creator, obviously, and he wrote the first and last and Snunstravaganza, which wasn't that great, Snunstravaganza, but, I think that like we're looking at the trilogy of the best episodes as Lasers and Liars, Quest for Aquatica, and this episode. Like, I think these are our top 3, and I think that those two maybe...
So I did like last week's episode, I think, more than you.
Yeah, you did like it more than me. I don't think that's close to these two, but, I think this is less funny than Quest for Aquatica and Lasers and Liars, but like,
yes.
It's hard to like say this isn't the best. It pays off so much stuff from the series, like in such a satisfying way. I mean, it's like not obvious when I was watching it, but like thinking back, just the basic plot of this episode with the Rad (lie) has been like the biggest recurring theme this season, and we get it like as a big episode, and it's just
it like makes sense,
and it's just very satisfying. It's
like when it's like when Rick and Morty like actually got serious and I'm like, wait, there's like a plot to the show.
Yeah, except I actually think this is like, I mean, I'm not saying this is a better episode than Rick and Morty's season 2's last episode, right? But I think it's like a better episode for the show. Like, I think
definitely.
Like Rick and Morty just got serious and didn't like, it wasn't fun. That show is just constantly funny and then it just stopped being constantly funny for a little bit. This show like had actual character development in this episode. It has before, but it focused more on it here than normal, but it was still like throwing gags at you. Like I think this episode served like a really good balance.
I was also afraid that this episode, I was like, oh man, is this actually going to feel like a finale or is it just going to feel like it's just going to be an episode? But it was actually a finale. Like I was shocked.
He did end it. Like we had that great scene at the end with them all firing.
Like it actually ended.
And the best, like the culminating gag of the show with them all getting shot in the shoulder, which was hilarious. Like
yes,
it's
so great.
It's like it's a great ending too, because it's like it happened to all 5 of them and like as a group, right? Are there 5 of them? I can't count. There's 4 of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens to them all as a group,
and also the show actually ended as a cop show. Weirdly.
Yeah, also this was just a great cop show episode, kind of.
Yes.
Like the big thing in the beginning of the show is like, is this a cop show? You know, and then it started becoming one at some point, and this is like strikes the best balance as well.
So good.
Like everything Dazzle does in this episode is because he's a cop too. Like that's almost never happens, except I guess singing at Rad's wedding for no reason.
But it was fine.
It's
and again, Dazzle is like the side character because like he didn't do anything.
Yeah, he's the side character, and that's also why this episode's so good. Like Dazzle was a weak point of the season. I'm not saying he wasn't like a funny character. Like I think he's very funny, but like Rad like had a great arc all season. He's like the most developed character in the show, and
he's really the main character.
I like how the Wikipedia article already has Rad Cunningham, originally Gregory Manning. I love when like people update Wikipedia for like later development since the series, and. Yeah, I think this episode's like good enough that I'm probably going to put it on in the new version of my top 25 episodes, like as like 25 or something. Like this feels to me like a best episode of the year, right? Like I know Quest for Aquatica and Lasers and Liars were like funnier, but like those were so like crazy and uneven, you know, and flawed. And this episode is like, maybe it doesn't reach the highs of those, but it's like not flawed like at all. It's like very coherent, very good storytelling.
Like it was like we actually watched an episode of like a show.
This is like what I'd always thought the show would become, except like a little crazier than this, you know? Like like I think season 2, if it was
almost too grounded.
It was too grounded a little bit. Yeah. Like that's kind of I've been criticizing the show for being like not grounded enough, and now this episode's almost too grounded.
We'll never be satisfied.
This is like if season 2 was like this, except like they still kept their sense of like sense of adventure. They're like just their craziness, you know. Then I think that we would be in store for like a super high quality season. That's like why it's so tragic that the show is ending. Like we've got finally
got there
in the second half. I mean, it was one episode and it was the finale. Like, you know, that doesn't prove consistent quality, but in the last 5 episodes we had, or the last, you know, I don't know, Quest for Aquatica was, actually 102 in the production, which is interesting. Yeah. But, you know, we got there at the end of the show.
There are gems. Like, this show, there are gems. And, like, this episode, like, this show has a lot of, I don't know, there's just so much potential. And, like, I think we saw a lot of it paid off, not just in this episode, but overall in the season. It's really, really upsetting that we're probably not getting another season because, like, this show's worth it. It's not just like, oh, we just had one good episode. Like, the show's consistently good. Like, sometimes it's not the best, but...
Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to say. Even the episodes that aren't those 3 were still good. Like, the show didn't have... Like, maybe the first... maybe episodes 1 and 2... and like 5 or something. I don't know, which I don't remember. Yeah. There's like, maybe those were maybe quote unquote below average episodes of television, but every episode of the show was always funny. It always had like at least one really good gag, and it at least was like engaging. Like that's like that's kind of,
you never get bored watching the show.
There's just so much. They always tried really hard. There's always a ton of gags one after another, and
it's gorgeous animation. Like,
and the animation was always really good. And they just had consistent characterization. And I don't know. I'm not happy that the show's ending. Not happy. I mean, it's not confirmed. Let's say that. It's not confirmed. But then again, I haven't we are recording this the day after the episode aired. It's possible that it's confirmed at this point. I haven't seen it though. I'm not sure where I'd see that news. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, like
Even the AV Club like said like possibly series finale. Like they don't know.
Yeah, they don't know. No one knows. Well, except maybe you do, because it's happened after you listen, but that's okay. Let's go through the wedding of, after we recorded this. Let's go through the wedding of Rad, the stuff that happens, warning in advance. I actually hand wrote the show notes this time, so let's see if I can read my handwriting.
Fun. Podcast first.
I mean, I don't know. We don't need to get into why I wrote the show notes, because I was watching on my computer and I want to type and watch on the screen. Yeah, it's hard. Okay. Thermosphereon. So the episode is kind of based around this gag of the mob running a hotel. And like, it's like, then in the beginning we have a ad for I think they've done this before, right? They've had an ad for whatever the thing is. And it's like a typical comedy show thing. And, solid concept. Like this ad in the beginning is really
hilarious.
Good. Like what's so good this time though and so satisfying is that we have this ad for all this crazy stuff and then we actually get into all of it. Like
it's all there.
We had Equinox, King of the Doves, and then he's like a character in the episode.
Yeah, it's so great.
What happens, you know? So I was like delighted when what do you think of Equinox? Is he like the king of the side characters? Like,
you know, he wins. It's great.
I think that he might be. What do you think of, we have Nebula.
He also gets shot in the shoulder.
He does? Okay. Is he a main character now? Is that how that works?
I don't know.
Nebula Deluxardo, right?
Yes.
So I think that she's voiced by Catherine O'Hara. I have the screenshot of the guest actors up. I think Catherine O'Hara does her and Kate McKinnon does Rad's sister, Kate McKinnon from Saturday Night Live. I think that's my read on the situation. Anyway, what do you think of Nebula?
Awesome. It's just hilarious.
Where did she rank among women Dazzle has banged in the show?
Like, well, obviously number one, simply like for one, the reason. And then like she's actually kind of like a character and she's in charge of everyone.
Yeah. I mean it's a nice yeah, like we'll get to that in a second, but like it's a nice twist when she's like, who's the guy who killed my father? Yeah, this is like the best Rad and Dazzle thing.
So funny.
Who's the one who killed my father? And then, Rad's like, he did it, right?
Yeah, cause he's like, oh god, she's gonna kill me, but no.
I'll make sweet, sweet love to them. Make him roll in his grave.
Also this is so funny because like, this is just so Rad and so Dazzle because like, oh, Dazzle just has sex with everyone. Guess what this entire episode is? They just have sex everywhere.
Like that becomes like that becomes the plot of it. They become the celebrity couple who just has sex with each other. We have, so that after that, Rad says, wait, I'm the dirty pig. Save some public sex for me. Aw.
So good.
That was really good. I loved that
it's just this episode, that's it. That's the show. Like, that's all it is.
That scene was the show. Like, that was
great.
The show. It was in a nutshell. Other stuff from the beginning. We have the 2 revolving restaurants. Then it's like, okay,
hilarious.
That's a funny concept. And then we have and then we explore that gap further.
So great.
And that's like, to me, is something super notable. Like, Rick and Morty does fake commercials a ton, but like, it never actually gets into what they're about, you know?
Like, it's so funny. Like, at first I was like, what's going on? And then then they did it again. I was like, oh my god, this is brilliant.
It's
so
really good. All the crime money goes into the hotel. What else we got? The Equinox. Yeah,
so I enjoyed that there was like blood on the money and it's so good.
Yeah, rotations and revolvers are the 2 restaurants.
It's Revolvios or something like that.
Yeah. Nebula on every cover. There's so many workout videos, I barely have time to watch them all, says Dazzle.
Which is like really weird.
What I love about Dazzle, like, I know he's not the best character, but like, he's like the starting quarterback of like he's the cool guy.
Yeah.
But he's also just really creepy. Like,
he's so weird.
He's like,
honestly, him and Rad are like the same,
but Dazzle's perceived as cool and Rad is not, but they're actually the same. Like, I think that's something the show has done really well. Yeah. And it's just showed, I don't know, like, it's like satire on, social perceptions, like, I actually think it is like that. I don't think that's giving the show too much credit. I think it's actually satire on our perceptions of social roles, Don Sigatari Deluxario. He's extremely elusive. There he is. That's a typical gag from the show. And then Rad throws his gun and he kills him. That's great.
No, I just like how they all immediately start shooting.
Yeah, and then they all miss because, they're incompetent. So the show is kind of lampshading that the cops are incompetent, which we've been saying this entire time. So
good.
I like that.
And then Rad just throws his gun.
Yeah, and Rad is like somehow the most competent one. No, I have ticklish thighs. Yeah, he says. What was happening? I don't remember, but yeah. We talked about the press conference scene. Rad's like,
I like how he picks up like 6 microphones.
I have a thirst for mob blood. Yeah, wait, it wasn't me. It was Dazzly.
I always come back for seconds. What?
It's very, very rad. Not as in like the adjective, as in like the character. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you think of Debulaz? Do you ship Debulaz?
It's the worst name ever, but
is this
sure.
Are we parodying ship names here? Or I mean it's parodying celebrity couple names. Like, to be fair, this isn't just a thing that like fans
like,
shows
this
do.
Is real.
Like, people actually do that.
Bradgelina, it's a thing.
People actually do that. The Moonbeam City's horniest new super couple. Which is really great.
And also it made it better that they had sex on Genesis' desk.
Yeah, they had sex on Genesis' desk. And Genesis is like, no, cut to them. Screw standards and practices. Yeah.
It's so good.
Now that we've seen the last of Genesis Jones, what do we think? Is he like a star character of the show? I mean, I just said that Equinox was the king of the side characters, but is it Genesis?
It might. I mean, if we're gonna go by like on appearance, it's probably Genesis. Like, he's just based on like how often he's in the show, and his lines are always quality.
But
I mean, for a one episode, Equinox wins.
I agree with that. It's the highest rating since the live suicide of the mayor. I love that. Like, they do a really good job satirizing news, right? Like, that's so awful. Oh my god. And it really resonated with younger viewers. Oh my god.
And Rad's like, no, I thought it was gross.
Yeah, sure you did, Rad. Yeah, really jealous. He has a fake new girlfriend. Where are pictures? Someone stole them to masturbate to. Typical. I like that this is just I have a girlfriend in Canada plot. Like, that's kind of like, you have to realize that's what this is like. This whole thing, like, Rad's character is built upon the concept of I have a girlfriend in Canada, right? Because that's like what we get here. It's culminated into this. I don't know. I don't know if I realized that until now, but like,
so great. Also, like, they're having this argument. They're like straddling the desks.
Are they straddling the desk? Yeah. When they're like when they go into their dumb thing about I don't even remember, eggs. Yeah, like cooking eggs.
Yeah, they're so dumb.
It was so dumb. I didn't even write that down. It was.
That's how dumb it was.
It was too dumb to write down. It was typical of this show, though. What else do we have? She never misses a chance to prove that she exists. Yeah, there you go. I do live in the Diamond Crest Estates. So here's a nice, I don't remember this being a thing before, but apparently Rad's been claiming, right, that he lives in a state, or is that been?
And then
But he did live in a mansion at one point because he was the fake, like, crime boss, right?
Yes.
I don't remember him claiming this outside of that, but maybe it was a thing.
No, I think he has before. Like, I wasn't shocked. Like, he says this like multiple times.
Yeah, and he actually does live there, but he's like the gardener. Like, what?
He's like the pool boy.
Pool boy. Like, why is he? He's like a high profile cop. Why does he need that? I don't know. Mr.
It's Rad though. It makes sense.
Rad is the owner. What about, and his friend is Steven the Rat.
Poor Rat.
And then he attacks him at the end. That was like the show.
Rat doesn't like him.
The Rat was what?
The Rat doesn't even like him.
No, and that's like a pretty typical like kid show comedy thing, like talking to the Rat and then it attacks him at the end. But like, I like that the show doesn't shy away from things like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's still the funniest way that scene could end. So I'm glad that's there. Yeah. Well, what's the next scene? I have talk, right? Or is it
talc?
Is it no? But that's not the next scene, is it? I don't know. Pizzazz does something. Go smoke yourself. I'm reading what I have. Go explore the evidence room. Okay, so we do introduce talc here. Talc here, yeah. Okay, here's what I meant. Pizzazz was like really into this development. Yes. She was like delighted, and I couldn't tell if it was like, at first I was like, oh, is Pizzazz into talc? Like, is that what's happening here? But no, she just like, she just likes the storyline, and then she's like really into marrying them and stuff. What do you, as Pizzazz's number one fan, what do you think of her characterization involving that?
Well, one, like, I was kind of like, okay, this is a little weird. At first I took it as more of like the whole female, oh my god, I love weddings. But then I think it's also really great that put like, it's really like kind of contrary to Pizzazz's character that like, she's really into this wedding. Like, she hates Rad. Why? Why is she so into this wedding?
Like, is there a reason? Like, does this make sense? I feel like it almost makes sense with her character.
It almost makes sense. And I like it. And then also like the fact that she officiated their wedding makes it so much better.
It does, yeah. And apparently she has that power as police chief, which doesn't make sense. But
brilliant.
But okay.
Love it.
Yeah, and then them faking the evidence room. They're buying it. Accent, oh yeah, we don't know it's his sister at first, but yeah, of course it is. And then she shows the accent, Canadian sister, and she's a con artist.
Which makes sense, seems legit.
And then she escalates it to marrying him. Pizzazz wants the details. She's super into it.
So into it.
And the deluxiest frills. Oh yeah, then what's her Nebula comes and it's like, you can have it at the that's her voice at the Thermospherian.
Can you stop?
No, I'll do it again. But don't worry, I'll do it again at some point.
Oh, great.
That unfolded rather quickly. Says probably Chrysalis. That sounds like
the only sane person.
Sounds like a
Chrysalis
line. Yeah. Marriage. Ouch. Says Dazzle. Yeah. Typical Dazzle.
Yep.
Like saying that.
I did enjoy like the line, your marriage tomb or matrimonial tomb, and then walked off. Like, what an awkward comment. Who says that?
Dazzle's just really awkward. Like
it's so great. I know, I love it. Yeah. Like, he's so like socially backwards. It's brilliant.
But then we're not done yet because we have Rad's mom and dad. Quit lying, start grifting. It's a
dialogue.
It's
great.
It's a griftertunity. But and then they threaten him with Woody the Spank Spoon, who's kind of the star of the episode. Woody the Spank Spoon.
Agree.
I don't know. I thought that was. That's like, this is also like the culmination of Rad's characters. Like, this is why he's the way he is. It's because of Woody the
Rad.
They say they found him in the dumpster.
Also, we didn't know he was adopted or whatever. With the way they were trying to pawn it off as.
They said, that he was adopted. Quench and Glam. As the resident names expert, what do you think of Quench and Glam?
It's pretty, I mean, it fits them really well. And Glam, like, and what's really funny is like they sell it really well that we're all shocked that they're not actually Rad's parents, like that like they took him.
Who's like, oh, we're shocked as the audience, you think? You said?
Yeah, like they sold it really well.
At the same time, he's like, obviously,
yeah,
like, doesn't talk like them and stuff, you know?
Well, no, I meant like, yeah, we didn't know he was adopted, but then like the thing that like, you wouldn't be surprised, like, I don't know, like the way he acts and then their names, like you're like, okay, this is fine. Like,
and again, he really looks like Talk, right? Like that, like they look very similar. So I don't know.
They do. So I just thought like they sold it pretty well. Granted, I mean, who was gonna guess that they had taken him? But still. The other
running pizzazz gag we get is her just constantly shitting on Rad in this episode.
It's brilliant.
You raised a son. Yeah, that was very good. Quality.
So I do think Quench and Glam are definitely the names that fit the characters the best.
Not Nebula Deluxario.
Also, the reason I love Glam is because it's so clearly like the Moonbeam City version of Pam, and it's perfect.
The Moonbeam City version of Pam.
Like, she's Pam.
Okay. Actually, that makes sense. Like, I wonder if this naming convention applies to all of society.
I do wonder if it's like a thing.
I don't
know how much thought they put into names.
The one plot that was kind of like shoved into the episode was the mob having a ceasefire with the police while Debbie Laz exists. You know, this show does so much. You need to like cut to things sometimes. Then we are in we're in the hotel now. Yeah. The Thermos, I'm not going to keep pronouncing it.
Thermos or whatever.
Yeah, anyway, Nebula says stress goes straight to my vagina. So.
So funny.
Then she's like, where's Dazzle? We need a bang.
This gag is like probably the best gag of the whole episode. Like,
I don't know about that, but they just keep yelling at her. Bang where?
I don't know why it's so funny. Like normally it would annoy the crap out of me, and then of course it was like the stinger, and I don't know, I just love it. Like, it cracks
it's the
me up.
stinger too. More, it's just longer bang.
So great.
Where are we gonna have sex? Right? That was
And like it's not even awkward. It's just funny because I don't even know. Like I don't know. It's just great.
It was very good. Yeah, I wasn't.
It's funny that they plan it out.
That what?
That they plan it out. Like they're like, okay, like an earlier Dazzle was like, we can't do the same thing. Like they get tired. They're vultures.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. No, this is a typical type of I don't know how to like an improv gag, I guess. I assume this was not written, right? So, and then it was like the gag itself was written, and then it's like go as far as you can with it. Yeah. Then we're planning the wedding. Marinara fountains, which come into play, I guess.
Awesome. Like that's great.
Talk is like, I want to ride in a unicorn, and Nebula's like, unfortunately, at this time, unicorns don't exist.
Like what?
It's. But Nebula's so much of a ridiculous character to start, and she's getting asked that question, and she responds
I know.
seriously. Interesting.
I don't like.
Oh, but then we have more Equinox. Now we're at
Well, she's like, we can drill into a donkey's.
and which is what they do.
Like,
So that's
terrible.
That's terrible. But now we're at dinner or something, right? I don't think it's at the wedding itself. Yeah, and then Equinox is playing.
They're like the rehearsal dinner.
Yeah, that's not the way. Whoa, hold on. I just thought of this. This and Rick and Morty both end on sham weddings.
Why? Why is this a thing?
I didn't think of that.
My brain hurts.
Our two big comedy shows both just end on these. Yeah, it's the same show, right? On sham weddings.
Well,
yeah.
They are the same. They're just one's like,
and then they both escalate to
Who.
people to the shootouts too. Like it's the same. It's the same plot.
But like somehow they do them so differently.
Yeah, it's a lot different. I mean, there's no
because we have bad Doctor Who, and then we have bad Cop Show.
Yeah, that is bad Doctor Who and bad Cop Show. Yeah, is Equinox bird person? I don't know.
Yes.
Who's do you want to do parallels?
No, he's bird person. So
who's Tammy? That's Talk, right? Yeah.
Is that Talk's Tammy?
Yeah. But then if bird person has to be Rad though.
Oh my God, is Pizzazz Rick?
Yes.
Pizzazz
is Rick. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know who.
Dazzle is so Morty, it's ridiculous.
Dazzle is Morty. And then, yeah, there you go. Okay, we did it.
Wait, does this mean Rad is actually... Why did I forget his name? Because I hate him so much.
Is actually,
Jerry.
Jerry? I don't know. I mean, Beth is Chrysalis, right? So.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Never mind. Okay, I'm glad we figured that. It's established, so we figured that out. That's not the way normal people smile, says Chrysalis about,
I was expecting a comment how like Rad isn't normal people, but that's not what happened.
No, they didn't make that. What do you think of Chrysalis's characterization here? Just being the straight man again, you know?
Well, I was about to say, like, earlier when we were talking about Pizzazz, it's like, we've said Pizzazz is the straight man, but she's not.
She gets caught up in the absurdity more than Chrysalis. Yeah. Like, I mean, Chrysalis does too, but like, she gets in these absurd situations and she's still like kind of rational, you know? Yeah. But here she's just like the only straight man. I
mean, it works well, I think.
She's also the first one to get shot, and I'm like, is Chrysalis? Is Chrysalis dying here? Like, cause that's actually a thing that could happen, so.
I actually gasped. I was like, no!
Yeah, my fave. No, come on. All you can drink shrimp, says, shrimp cocktail, says Dazzle.
Shrimp cocktail, like, I laughed. That was funny.
That's like, yeah, typical. That's like typical gag. His malformed foot, that's just one huge toe.
Also, like, he kept saying that, and I, like, didn't understand until, like...
No, they said it once. That was like a throwaway gag, and then they bring it back. It's a malformed foot that's just one huge toe. Like, it's literal.
Like, I didn't get it. Like, I didn't understand.
I didn't, like, think it would actually just be a huge toe. I thought that was an exaggeration.
I know. Like, I don't know what I thought it was. Like...
From his malformed foot that's just one huge toe to his teenage struggles with constant ejaculations. Dad! And then they're worried about the ginger.
Kiss your sister.
Kiss her, yeah, constant stuff like that. Then we have Chrysalis and Rad at the pool. What do you think of this scene?
This is the most beautifully animated scene, like, all year.
Is this like the most poignant scene of the show?
yes, weirdly, but then you're like, what am I watching? But literally, like, this is the pool is, like, this scene is animated so beautifully, like, it's ridiculous.
I want to watch it again, but yeah.
It's so pretty.
Rad's movie analogy.
I thought it was really funny. Like, Rad is so weird. Why?
This is pretty typical. I think this is in character for both characters. Like,
oh no,
very
definitely.
well. Yeah, sympathetic friends with glasses. Usually it's not played for straight so much. Like both of them know that it's the analogy. You know, like that's kind of different. Sympathetic friend with glasses helps. Then they make out a little. That is,
and then of course he gets. Of course, you know he's going there, and you're like, Rad.
Rad, please. That is definitely not how this movie ends. Are you sure? Director's cut? No, crap.
No.
The best line is director's cut. That's so good.
Yeah, agree.
And as the AV Club, let me say we both read this, I guess.
Yep.
Wow.
Surprise!
I can't believe you read it for
reads
once.
it.
Yeah.
I know. I read it before you. How weird is that?
Jesse Hassinger said it's like Rad's like sympathetic in this scene, even though he's creepy. Like that's how much they built up this character, right? Yeah, like and he was like obviously like you don't want. I mean, Chrysalis is my fave, and like him saying that is like not sympathetic, but Rad's still sympathetic in that, even though he's a creep.
Yep. Even though he's a creep.
Even though he's a giant creep. Okay, time for the giant wedding scene. We have Pizzazz's officiating. Talc something. Awesome. Doesn't matter. It's going to be Talc something. No, it'll be Cunningham soon. What do you think of this? Is like the ultimate Pizzazz not caring, like the absurdity of what's around her.
Does not care. She like literally says like, "Kiss your sister."
Does she also says kiss your sister?
Like Pizzazz doesn't, but like Talc does, and they're literally like right in front of Pizzazz.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's like she should have known. I don't think she cares at this point.
No, Pizzazz so doesn't care.
Marriage.
At that point, she was probably just planning on getting drunk at like the open bar.
They should have had that. Have we had Pizzazz getting drunk before? I feel like we have.
I mean, I feel like the whole like sleeping with Dazzle thing involved alcohol, but I don't know.
That's true. Marriage is like these revolving restaurants.
I can't believe she was actually trying to like say something. Yeah. I was like, what are you doing?
And then we cut to the mob in the other restaurant. Cut back.
Are they too good? Are they too good for a home style restaurant? Like they're in like this family spaghetti, family like Italian restaurant.
They're both revolving restaurants in a luxury hotel. Why is one?
Great. And like I enjoy that. Like not only do they have the cop like mafia rivalry, they have like the restaurant rivalry. Like, is this really necessary?
Yeah, I mean, isn't that other one also run by the mob? So like,
yeah, no, it's what's so funny about it. Like, it's the entire place is like run by the mafia, and they're like, oh, are they too good for this one? Like, it's really. Yeah.
Dazzle and Equinox. Dazzle singing.
Why?
Like, that's what we've said the past 3 times. Dazzle's sung too. Why is this happening? The AV Club article says, the AV Club review says Dazzle this season just is always singing or fucking, right? So.
Yep, basically.
What do we, I don't remember specific things from it, but it comes back in a great way. So.
Yes.
It's good. Kiss, stop. The wedding is a sham, says, Chrysalis. He has monotoism. There's only 2 people in Canada with monotoism.
Well, no, you forget, like, she's his sister, and then, like, someone faints.
Oh, really? Okay. I like how she's like, that's not all, too. Like.
Oh, yeah, no, it's really funny.
And, Zinc Moranis, actor Zinc Moranis, and this boy, only son of the Mannings, the billionaire founders of, Flamenco Computers, he was kidnapped. He's Gregory Manning. They stole you. And as a child, he rode, what's it called?
The Wave Tech 2000.
The Wave Tech,
or was it 10,000? It's the Wave Tech, whatever. And it's like the kid version.
Mini kid version yacht. That's like the best callback too, to like the best guy.
Yes.
The most absurd Rad thing when he's just when he just keep going on and on about the yacht and then the jazz CDs. I want to watch that episode again. And
yes.
It's great. Yeah, this episode's just really good as the season finale. It just works really well.
So good.
What else? Rad's like, I should have been rich and happy. That's really sad. Should have. Yeah. Shoot Chrysalis, and also like randomly in the background is Chrysalis's only fan I saw.
Wait, I didn't see.
Yes, he's like diving out of the way. I think like it's I didn't know if I didn't identify it as him, but it's a guy with a big shirt and her face on it.
Oh man,
like,
it has to be him.
It's definitely him. I mean, unless we have a Chrysalis.
I do think like I think I did notice like people in the crowd who were like just random people.
Oh, maybe it was everyone from the show, like in the.
Yeah, I think it might have been
we
like.
should go back and look at that, but I definitely recognized the huge chrysalis face.
So good.
Only got my shoulder. I was like,
I was too much freaking out that she got shot.
yeah,
I was like, oh my god,
what's up? And then it's like, okay, only in the shoulder. Oh, that's funny. Like that happens in movies, and then it just keeps going. You're police officers. You all have guns. Typical.
For real.
And then we have Pizzazz, and we have the lighting gag with Pizzazz's face. I noticed it finally. Are
you kidding me,
Time
Dylan?
to wake the snake. The last time they did it, I noticed it.
Dylan,
yeah.
Dylan, how many times do I have to point? How did you not like?
I got it this time. Are you happy?
Literally pointed out every episode.
I got it this time. Now, are you happy?
This is worse than Mabel's sweater, honestly.
That's the two things I never noticed, but this time.
God.
Time to wake the snake.
So good.
This is like the culmination of Pizzazz.
It's
so good.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Like what?
Cops.
And then she literally pokes everybody's eyes out. It's amazing.
It's great. And then she does it again, and it's like, why haven't we had this Pizzazz the entire time? Then again, this is like also like great parody of cop stuff, because like the boss only like comes out like at the end, right?
Yeah,
who
so
you've been
good.
seeing the entire time. It's like very Pizzazz's character is very much like first episode and last episode. Like those are the two times that she's most, and in the middle it's like a little murky and stuff, and she has different facets that are explored. But
I mean, it's very typical in like the satire of like the cop. Like it's weird calling it a genre, but it's a genre, and like it's so great. Like
I would say the satire and parody is definitely the most prevalent in the first and last episodes of this show, and and it's kind of like all over the place in the middle, but it's still there for the most part. Yeah, and then we have this great gag with cops broke the ceasefire. They're revolving away. Got to wait for it to go around again an hour later. Yeah, they shoot. Yeah, and it's like we should just go over there. They say after like 3 hours. Yeah,
so great.
And then Zazzle's doing stuff, and then he's hanging down. He's like, I'm gonna shoot your fingers off one by one. And then Equinox is like, Dazzle, play with me. And then boogie, boogie, woogie.
So apparently Dazzle can play the piano?
Apparently that's what they're saying, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the boogie woogie's too fast. That was this whole gag was really great too.
It's great.
Then he gets shot. Pizzazz gets shot in the shoulder.
Yep.
He's like, I'm Rad Manning now, so you're keeping the first name.
It's already on the jacket.
Dazzle falls, Rad gets shot in the shoulder. Doves save Dazzle. They're always there to help a dreamer.
It's so funny. Like, it's so stupid.
It's so dumb.
Great.
Yeah, I loved it. Everything with Equinox was great. A+, yeah.
And he also
he gets shot in the shoulder, yeah. Sauce and the glass thing falls down. And then Rad.
I'm so glad the marinara reappeared.
Yeah, it did. And then right to remain silent, Rad gets the gun back. Woody, go spank yourself. And he shoots it. Yeah. It's great. Yeah. That whole scene was wonderful.
Yes.
It's like brilliant. What the Rick and Morty wedding should have been. Like the Rick and Morty wedding wasn't funny at the end, and like a lot of people are like, oh, it was serious. Like, and that's legitimate because they did great characters and great characterization. But like, this is what I would have wanted it to be, in my opinion.
I wanted it to be like hilarious.
Yeah. Like in no other way is this show better than Rick and Morty, but the wedding was better than Rick and Morty's wedding.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's not saying the show is like bad. It's just Rick and Morty is like one of the best shows on TV.
Yeah.
We have the Governor Van Chalice. Like, have we seen this person referenced before?
I don't think so.
Yeah. They get they get some what I don't remember what it says, and they all get it.
They get medals of some kind.
Yeah. This is the coolest thing, says Chrysalis. So Chrysalis is happy. Oh yeah, because she was shot. I'm sorry, we're all shot in the shoulder. She's like, no, this is the coolest thing that's happened to me. Yeah.
That's so typical.
Chrysalis is the best. Yeah. And then they start shitting on Rad. And Pizzazz says, "You're like an ugly tree that looks less ugly when you realize it grew from shit."
And they keep going with it.
That was the second one, and then they say one other. Chrysalis says one other thing. Yeah, it's really good.
It's great.
And then there's another page.
You're actually flipping papers. Low tech podcast today.
I'm out of town, by the way, in case this is unclear. Ezra. Oh no, that's a different show that I already did.
I'm like weirdly not out of town, but I'm out of town.
all my yeah, you're home. All my best friends, their families in jail, and
They all have eye patches. Brilliant.
yeah. Oh, there's only minimal shoulder damage. I might have gotten the mob lady pregnant. I'm not sure. I've been avoiding her calls. Says Dazzle.
Wow. So Dazzle.
So Dazzle. Like, why is he not with her anymore? They were a thing for the entire.
Yeah, like just there's no reason. I mean, I guess because the ceasefire broke, but.
And then they all have their unison shot, and it's great. And the season's over.
Like, I think it's a wonderful finale to the show. Like, I actually couldn't imagine the show ending in a better way.
Yeah, it was just
for this season.
It was a really good episode. It functioned really well as a season finale, and it's the best episode that functioned like as an episode of TV. Overall, I don't know. I'm just really happy with it. Like, I'd give it an A. AV Club gave it like a B+, but like I'd give this. I mean, it's not like as good as other. Like, there's the difference between this and like that. The best episode of Steven Universe is like a lot, but still, I still think this is really good.
Well, we have to grade it. Like, we grade it, in terms of like as an episode of television, but also like in terms of this show. Like, this episode's amazing.
Yeah, I think we're both on the same page on that. So, looking back at Moonbeam City, because this is probably our last podcast on it, right?
Sigh.
So, this wasn't a show I like knew existed until like a week before it came out, and it's not one that I had any expectations for. It started slow. It found its footing kind of quick, and it was consistently the most notable thing is the show consistently tried a lot. Like, it gave it its all. I'm glad that at the very least I've been saying throughout the season that it's like they're really using a lot of stuff for a first season. Like we introduced like multiple characters' parents in this. We had like multiple out of cop gags and stuff. It's like this didn't seem like a first season. If it's ending, at the very least they like kind of threw everything at it. It seems like I'm glad we had a full character arc with Rad. And Dazzle is a little bit of a weak point in the show, and he's the main character, so it can't be super satisfying there, but he still was very funny. And just overall it's like it was like a high, like a fairly high quality show, and it was only its first season. And it's one of the shows that I watched a first season of that I most want to see a second season of. I know it's hard to like look back on other shows that did get second seasons from the perspective of a first season, but like, I don't know. It's just no other show has like as much obvious potential. If Rick and Morty was brilliant from its first season, right? So if that didn't get a second season, that'd be like a super tragedy, but this is still like not good.
This isn't a super tragedy, but it's a tragedy.
Like a tragedy, like this is a show that had a lot of potential and didn't get there. I don't know. Maybe is Comedy Central the right home for this? I don't know. It doesn't. It's other animated shows aren't like this. This is more of a
like Adult Swim.
This is more of an Adult Swim type of show. Yeah, maybe a Netflix type of show. So I don't know. I am surprised this didn't resonate with audiences more. I mean, there's other ratings are in a very small part a factor of resonating with audiences. Like, there's a lot of other stuff going on.
I think it's also like we were talking about, is this the right home? I don't really know anyone who watches Comedy Central like regularly. Like, you just kind of watch it. I mean, people watch South Park, but it's not like, I don't know. It was
on after South Park, but yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, obviously the show wouldn't be on Nickelodeon, but like, or it's like people regularly watch Cartoon Network, people regularly watch Adult Swim, but it's
this show, Comedy Central doesn't get high ratings, but like they're going to see, like it doesn't get high ratings compared to like Nickelodeon, which gets the highest ratings on cable. But you compare it to other shows on the network, and it's like, I don't know, there's not. They've been trending towards more live action stuff. I don't know, maybe that's it. I don't know. It's just I don't want to see it go. I hope that they reconsider or that this gets picked up somewhere else. Overall, like, I don't know. Like, I'm just very happy the show at least got to a quality of this last episode. What do you think?
I would say, like, I really liked the show, and I'm very upset that we're not getting a second season, especially after a finale like this. It's like, if this is what all the episodes are going to be like, or even necessarily, like, even though the episodes, like, they weren't perfect, or, I don't know, these characters, they're really funny, and the show wasn't, going into it, I expected it to be more of a cop show, but I loved it for what it was. Like, I don't know, this show's just funny, and for me, it'll be, like, this show is gorgeous. Like, the animation style in the show is just awesome. And I love, like, even if, like, I don't know, they could be painting walls for an episode, I'd be happy with it, just because, like, I love watching it, just, it's gorgeous. But it's upsetting. Like, it's funny, and it's very clever. Like, we had a bunch of, like, social commentary. Like, not necessarily, like, I mean, of course, it's satirical, you know, have to take everything with a grain of salt. Like, are they really, like,
the show
things?
like started to hit its like satirical stride like at the end, you know.
Yeah.
Like we like parodied social roles in this episode. We had that great stuff a few episodes ago with the police brutality.
The gangs.
Yeah, and it was it's like you can see the like beginnings of the show having meaning and not just being random humor all over the place. And like I agree, I think that they made the right call in not trying for super high level satirical stuff right away, because it's like you shouldn't have that unless you figured out like your humor. And like they did, and then they brought in some elements, and it was pretty successful. So I think next season it would have had like more meaning into the things on the screen, and it would have been it just would have added into the overall quality.
Like, this season is so obviously growing pains, and it's really like, to not let this show hit its stride is really irritating, because like this show has so much potential, and I say potential, like, and I don't mean to say potential as in like it's terrible right now. Like, I love this show. I'm very upset. Like, I love watching it every week. I got a little upset that he turned it to 1 because I was like, oh, are you serious? I got to stay up. But
implying that you were not already up until 1. But yeah, no, it's like usually shows are either like bad right away or like really good. And I mean, no, shows usually aren't really good, but it happens sometimes. It's kind of rare to get this type of show that's like good, but like obviously also could be like incredible. And that was like this. And that's the type of show you need to have a second season with.
Like, it needs a chance. Like, it deserves a second season. And I'm like, what's upsetting for me is that, like, simply, one, because of like the way it's aired, the channel it's on, like, I mean, I didn't know anything about it until you were like, hey, let's watch this. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
it's also like it just came from nowhere for us. So it's like it just,
like, and my roommate's going to watch it, but she's watching it after it's over.
I do wonder what the legacy of the show will be. It's probably going to drift into like, not that, I don't know. I have a hard time imagining this as like cult status or anything, but,
I mean, granted, we also don't know because, like, I mean, the way it's animated, like, I'm sure it takes forever. Like, this episode has to, like, the show has to take forever in production.
Yeah, I would assume so.
So, I mean, maybe we just don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna, hold my breath, but.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I think we've given it a proper potential eulogy here. So,
this is upsetting.
Yeah. Just, I don't know. Good job. Congrats to the crew on a great, season of television, and it's unfortunate.
You say it's up for
some Annie Awards, yeah. So congrats on that too, even though the Annie Awards are a sham, as we must point out, we every day.
I know, I was about to point it out. Just we'll talk about it.
They're not shams in a way which should affect this show being nominated, but it's whatever. So yeah, I think we've had plenty of closing thoughts. Last things you can think of? Anything Moonbeam City, it's the last chance. Pizzazz and Chrysalis didn't happen.
So much disappointment.
But like,
there's not enough gay in this show.
But like, it might have happened. I don't know. Like, it could happen. It's not like anything prevents it from happening.
It's true.
We just had that once a year Pizzazz and Dazzle thing. Pizzazz was pretty upset when Dazzle jumped though. So
it's true.
When he fell.
Also, I don't think I ever got to report on the state of fan fiction in Moonbeam in the show, and it's literally all Rad and Dazzle.
There's just only on Archive of Our Own. There's only one author like who writes it, and it's just all Rad and Dazzle fanfiction.
So good. I think there's one fic that like isn't Rad and Dazzle,
which is not surprising for fanfiction.
So great.
We need to check on ff.net, but yeah.
No.
ff.net prejudice. Anyway, we can start we can eulogize the show by writing Pizzazz and Chrysalis fanfiction.
Yes.
What about what's its face fan fiction? Do we think Debbie Laz would be a popular ship?
I mean, probably
not. It's too.
I mean, just for pure like sex fic, yes.
Okay, you can write Canon Lemons about something, for once, because that's like it's their horny Moonbeam City's horniest new super couple. Yeah. Okay. I guess that's what we'll on debut as. No? Yes?
I was thinking about it. I don't know.
Anyway, I'll start to end it, Ed. We can see where it goes. I'm Dylan Hysen, that's Delaney Stovall. You can find out more about this podcast, and we cover other shows, as mentioned in the beginning, at overlyanimated.com.
Oh, we're going to take Moonbeam City out of it. Oh.
Yeah, sad. I guess. I don't know. I'll keep it in there for a little bit, I guess.
We have to talk about Ruby.
You can, yeah. Oh, after the episode ends, I said, remind me, not during the episode.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You can patreon.com/overlyanimated if you want to support us. We can't do the show without our patrons. Thanks to Shayna, Mitch, Cordell, Beatrice, Nate, Andy, and Jamie, aka Hayna, Fever, Mitch, Cordell, University Beach Exchange, Buzz Lightyear, and Mailman. Shout out to Shayna, who listens to this. I don't know who else. I don't think, does anyone else out of the patrons listen to our Moonbeam City podcast?
I don't.
We know Shayna does because we've discussed.
I feel like I don't know.
So yeah,
I'm confused.
Shout out to Shayna. I've heard from other people on this. I think at least one other one.
Yeah,
not a patron. I think someone. I don't know. Anyway, let us know. Let me know what you thought of. If you're listening still, which is unlikely, let me know what you thought of the finale and of the season overall. And you can leave us feedback on YouTube on the comment section overlyanimated.com.
And if you'd miss it, or are you glad it's over?
No one's glad it's over who's still listening 50 minutes into.
True facts. You're right.
So yeah, that's it. That's for our coverage of Moonbeam City. Maybe at some point we can do probably not. I mean, if we haven't done Rick and Morty podcast since it ended, it seems unlikely. Although we could do a season 1 rewatch.
Which I've been advocating for you.
You have been. So yeah, let us know what you thought. I don't know if any crew listened. Someone, the crew member who was on Tumblr, I think might have followed us or liked something.
Ooh.
So, cause I tagged them in a post about the show ending. So, but yeah, crew members should be I don't know, super proud of your work. This, really good quality. Yeah.
No, this show's
so
awesome.
Congrats on making, even though it's ended, congrats on making meaningful show. I feel like
yes.
In animation circles, sometimes you work on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, sometimes you work on Transformers, but sometimes you work on a show that people actually over the age of 10 actually watch and is meaningful. So yes. I don't know. We see you. We appreciate it. So thanks everyone. That's it from Moonbeam City. Hashtag, did we ever have a ship name for Pizzazz and Chrysalis? We
tried to figure this out with Shayna, and then
Chryzazz. Pissalis.
Okay, it's Chryzazz. Decide.
Hashtag Chryzazz. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you.
Lord.
We'll see you next time on Overly Animated. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.